How you doing? I'm Darren with Kickin BBQ. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we are talking pork belly. Now I know we have all seen pork belly burnt ends. I have a video or two of them on my channel. They are amazing. They're little barbecue pillows, just tender, fatty, delicious. But if you've never cooked a pork belly like a brisket, you're missing out on a whole new eating experience. Just beautiful, tender, juicy slices. You can fry it up the next morning like bacon, and it is so good. So let's bring you in and show you how we're gonna prep up this pork belly like a brisket. All right, so here is our pork belly. This is actually half of a slab of pork belly that I picked up from Costco. You can see it looks really nice. And there's no prep we're gonna be doing to this. I just took off a couple chunks of like loose fat that were around the corners, but the prep on this is very simple. All we're gonna do is we're gonna season it up, let it sit overnight, and then smoke it. You don't have to let it sit overnight. You sure can fire it up today. I just don't have enough daylight to cook today, so I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and it's really not gonna hurt anything. If anything, it'll add a little bit more flavor in there, and it'll be really good. So we're gonna start with the bottom side. I'm not gonna be using a slather. I'm not a big fan of slathers. We're gonna be starting off with the Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub on the bottom. We're just gonna go medium coat on that. We'll get that pressed in. Next, we're gonna come in with my Kickin BBQ Honey Chipotle. And we're gonna go another medium coat on that. We'll get that pressed in. Now we'll flip it over and repeat the process on the top side. All right, so you can see we have all of our sides, all of our edges. Now at this point, I'm just gonna get this into an aluminum pan with a rack, like so. And that is just gonna go right into the refrigerator, just like this overnight. But yeah, super simple. You can take this any way you want. You can go savory, you can go sweet. We're doing a little bit of both today with the combination rub, and this is just a killer rub on pork in general. So that's what we're rocking with today. We're gonna get this in the fridge, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be like -35 wind chill tomorrow. So we'll see how the cook goes, but yeah, so I will see you tomorrow morning when it's time to get this on the Lone Star Grill's pellet grill. All right, so it is the next morning. We are going to get this pork belly on. Now, just so you know, it is -8 out with a real feel of -26, so I'm not gonna be super involved with this cook. We're just gonna get this on, let it smoke and do its thing, and we'll come out and check on it once it hits around 165, 170. I'm gonna put a probe in here just to monitor it, but this is what we're doing, running at 250 degrees. Just gonna let it smoke until it hits about 165, 170, then we'll come out and take a look at it and see how it's looking. But yeah, not gonna be real involved out here today because it is freezing. So we'll see you guys when it's time to wrap this up. I'll let you know how long it's been. I'll set a timer, but yeah, this is gonna be a very easy cook. 250 the whole time, no issues whatsoever. So we'll see you when it's time to wrap. All right, so it has been 2 hours and 5 minutes. You can see we're starting to get some nice color here. It's not quite where I want it to be able to wrap it, so I'm gonna let it go a little longer. I'm thinking I'll probably wrap around 180 degrees. So we'll come back out and check it then, see how it's looking. But so far looking good, nice smoky color to it. Starting to get some fat rendering and dripping, but not quite the color that I'm looking for. We're gonna be wrapping the color on this. So we'll come out and check it at 180 degrees and see how it's looking. I'll let you know how much longer it's been. All right, so it has been 2 hours and 37 minutes. This thing is sitting at 180 degrees. We're gonna get it inside and get it wrapped up. So I'm gonna get this off and I'll show you what that wrap process is gonna look like, but this is looking fantastic. So we'll see you in the house. All right, so here's our pork belly looking absolutely fantastic. I love the bark and the color we have on this. Like I said, if you've never done this before, it is so good, and my favorite thing is to slice it up, obviously eat it fresh off the cooker, but frying it up the next day instead of bacon is just lights out. So what I'm gonna do is, this is the wrap, keeping it simple. I'm gonna come in with a little bit of Blues Hog Tennessee Red. This vinegar sauce is my favorite vinegar sauce, and it just adds a beautiful tang to any pork. I highly recommend trying it. I'm a huge fan of vinegar sauces. So I'm just gonna cover this, and this is just gonna provide a little bit of liquid for this thing to braise and get tender in. And that's all I'm doing with it. Very simple wrap. Like I said, very simple cook. So let's just get this wrapped up. I'm just gonna start folding the sides and get her wrapped up. Right, so there is our pork belly all wrapped up, looking nice and good. I'm gonna get this out onto the smoker and I'm gonna let it go. Probably check for tenderness around 203 degrees. So I'll get the probe back in there. I'm not gonna show you bringing this back out there. I will show you when it's time to check for tenderness. We'll be using the instant read for that. But yeah, get this back out on, let it go till 203 degrees. I'll let you know how long that takes, but it shouldn't be too long now, especially wrapped up. But we wanna get this thing good and tender. So we'll see you when it's time to check for tenderness. All right, so it has been 4 hours and 19 minutes. We're sitting at about 203 degrees. Just gonna pull this open, see how we're looking. Oh gosh, it looks, well, once that steam clears out, like I said, it's cold out here today. You can see that. If not, you'll have to see it once we get inside. I'll check for tenderness here. Oh, straight butter, extremely tender. That is really, really nice. So try and get you in here so you can see it. It's just not cooperating here with how cold it is and how hot it is in there. But you're wondering, there we go, a little bit of view there. So I'm gonna get this inside, let it sit open like this for about 10 minutes and then cover it and let it rest for about an hour, and then we'll slice into it and see how we did here. Yeah, sorry about the terrible view. It is just so cold outside. So I'm gonna get this in, let it rest uncovered for about 10 minutes, let that bark reset. Then we'll cover it back up, let it rest for an hour, slice into it and see how we did. But I can't wait to try this. It looks absolutely amazing. At least once you'll see it, you'll understand. So see you in about an hour after we let this rest. All right, so it has been 10 minutes since I've let this rest open. I just wanted to show you, since you couldn't really see outside due to the extreme cold, but that is all nice and barked up. You can tell here, no rubs coming off. Looks fantastic. So I'm gonna get this wrapped up back in the foil, let it rest for about an hour. We'll slice into it, we'll try it and see how we did. But yeah, that looks amazing. Beautiful color on it. So we'll see you in about an hour. All right, so we've gone ahead and let our pork belly rest. It looks amazing, it smells wonderful, and all in all, for a very, very cold cook, I'm super happy with how it came out. Took about 4.5 hours or so, and I'm very happy with the results. So let's slice into it and see how we did. Just gonna come straight down the middle here. Take a look at that. Beautiful. Nice smoke ring on there from that Lone Star Grill's pellet grill. And that looks like a little slice of brisket. Pretty happy with that. That's really nice. Nice and juicy. Looks like the fat rendered inside nicely. All right, so we'll get a couple slices out of here. I'm gonna switch over to the non-serrated blade. Just always been a little bit easier for me to cut with this, so we'll see. Check that out. Moist, tender. That's a pretty thick slice, but let's get one a little bit smaller in here. There we go. So much moisture in that. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Just tender as can be. Pulls apart with ease. That looks amazing. Let's jump out and do a taste test. I can't wait anymore, and I'm spilling juice all over the table. But that looks really, really nice. Check that out. So much moisture in that. Couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier with how that turned out. Let's taste this. All right, so it's the best time of any cook. We get to do the taste test. Beautiful slice of brisket style pork belly here. Let's do this. This is incredibly delicious. It's smoky, it's savory, it's got a little bit of sweetness from my rub in the sauce. I'm having another bite. Guys, this is absolutely amazing. If you've never cooked a pork belly this way before, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely fantastic. So tender, so juicy. You gotta give this one a try. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and we will see you next time.